How's it going, everybody? My name's Scott Farrow. I'm a local real estate investor and real estate agent here in Fresno, California. I wanted to make a quick video about how I got into real estate and touch on a few things about maybe people who are thinking about getting into real estate themselves. So if you rewind 3 years ago, I had just dropped out of Fresno State studying civil engineering. I didn't really like going to school, and so I went to Fresno City College and was able to go study computer science and graphic design. My family is all about computer science, and so I thought that's the route I wanted to take. At that point, I really thought school was the best option for me, but I've always been kind of a business person at heart, so I've always ran a business as well. So I worked as a graphic designer, freelancing, and I worked in the restaurant industry and things of that sort. I had gone to school for almost 2.5 years when I decided that school wasn't really for me, and I decided to leave Fresno City to go do my own thing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So I actually, if you can believe it or not, 3 years ago was working as a barista for Cup of Joy. Cup of Joy, for non-Fresnans, is a delicious coffee company local to Fresno, and I was working there full-time, but I had been in high school newspaper as a designer, and I learned how to do graphic design. So when I got out of school, I thought the first thing was that I should try using my graphic design skills to see if I could make it. I was not doing cartoons and things like that. I was doing marketing. I was creating a newspaper and magazines and social media, things of that sort, and I actually had a decent skill set for helping somebody in the professional world. I was working and meeting a lot of people as a barista, and the great thing there was that I was introduced to a lot of local professionals. At that time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. I was thinking I wanted to shadow a few different career paths and see what I liked. Coincidentally, I actually met a real estate agent, and I asked him about real estate and what he does, and he had $1 million listing he was selling, and it was his first $1 million listing. I said, well, why don't I help you for free? Do the marketing for it and help you with the graphic design. We sold the property quickly in about 10 days. I saw the check that he got from that, and that kind of sparked my interest. I started shadowing him more and working for free and learning what he did. And when I started seeing that it was a real genuinely awesome career path for me, I actually asked if I could become an assistant. And at that point, I started getting paid a little weekly salary, and we started to formulate ideas about creating a team. That was in the beginning of 2018. Fast forward 4 to 6 months, and it's the summertime. I passed my real estate license. I worked with a local investor who was also at the brokerage I was at, and with the agent who I had initially met. We created a group called the Clasing Group, and I was the first employee. Benefit to it was I got a lot of extra help coach. I learned how to talk to new people, how to sell homes, how to look at a home as an investment, and I got a lot of training that way. When I first started, I was only 19, so at that point, I only really had opportunities to work with strangers because I had limiting beliefs that I couldn't work with my family and friends, that I was too young. I had a little bit of pushback from that as well, from my friends and family saying, you're a little too young, or if that doesn't work out, what are you gonna do? And so I had to develop kind of a rapport with my friends and family through helping strangers. I did that actually by working with for sale by owners. For sale by owner is when a seller works to sell the home by themselves and work directly with a buyer. An agent can work their way into that transaction if they can provide value, because very often the reason why a seller is not using an agent is because they don't feel that the value is there. So I learned how to really sell my value, how to talk to strangers, how to sell homes, and all the while I built credibility on how to work with my friends and family. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, I am a real estate agent, but I'm also a real estate investor, and that all didn't happen at once. When I got into the real estate industry, I saw that I knew that I could buy and sell real estate for great transactional money and an income, right, to live off of. But I also saw the opportunity of investing in real estate. Once I started selling homes for other people, I started inquiring more on how to invest, and I started training. I started actually scripting in the mornings, every morning for about 30 minutes with my team leads. I started talking about how do I talk to a seller who often is in a really tough situation. I learned how to provide a consultative approach, and ultimately I started cold calling for 2 hours every day. I started going on investor appointments, meaning I was going to homes where people weren't looking to sell on the open market. They wanted a cash offer. I started actually taking inbound calls. The importance with the inbound calls is that I started getting actually hot leads coming to me and opportunities where if I failed, there was real money on the line. That's how I started getting into the investing world. After I had been doing that for a little bit, I actually started mailing myself, sending out postcards to sellers, seeing if they'd be interested in selling. I started researching and buying residential properties for myself and flipping and wholesaling. I got there by creating a form of income through real estate sales, developing a track record, putting my money away and living off of a smaller amount than what I was earning, and ultimately then reinvesting that money into a business that I knew more about than the average person. That's kind of how I got into the investing. Another part about how I got into investing that I do want to touch on is I started going to real estate meetups. And these are really important because pre-COVID times, we would actually have real estate investment meetup groups that had a whole bunch of experienced and unexperienced investors come together and share their thoughts. It was 100% free, and it was every month, multiple times a month. I would recommend that when things open up, that you go out of your way to go to those events. It taught me a lot about how to invest. Not only did I have coaching from my friends and my team leaders there at the brokerage that I was working at, I developed a group of friends that all were like-minded and were hoping to help each other. And now I do deals with my friends, and it's the best part about the real estate industry. The last part of this video is I want to clear up a few myths that I hear about all the time. One, you need your real estate license. I want to encourage you to think before you put your time, money, and effort into getting your real estate license. When you go to get your real estate license, it's a 6-month endeavor. With COVID, it's even longer. It's multiple thousands of dollars, and it's significant effort. And when I say effort, it means that you have to go out of your way to learn and do the things to get your real estate license. If you want to help other people buy and sell real estate, I 100% support you, and I think that there's a ton of opportunity for you to get into the industry and make good money and help a lot of families. But if you're hoping to invest in real estate and not wanting to help other people, maybe you have a full-time job already or a career that you love, I would recommend that you don't get your license. It's a very expensive trait to hold up, and if you don't sell homes, it's not worth holding that investment. Now, if you want the education, go for it. If you're not looking for that, you don't need your real estate license to invest in real estate. 2, you don't need money. Being a young person myself, I hear people say, well, that's great, but I need to save up tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy my first property. First property I purchased, I had $200 in marketing and $1,200 in closing costs, and I made $20,000 in only 2 months. It was not easy. It was not free. It was a lot of hard work, but it was not a lot of money. And a lot of people our age can afford a couple $1,000 if it's going to make them a lot of money. You don't need to have a lot of money to get invested, and I actually recommend you don't wait until you have a lot of money. 3, you do not need to go to school to be successful or to be successful in real estate. I hear a lot of people saying, that's great, but I want to go get my degree in business. This is high schoolers. I'm talking to you. You don't need to go to college for business in order to become an entrepreneur. I've proven that to myself. I hope I can prove it to a few of you. But ultimately, what you need to have is hustle. You have to have street smarts and knowing who to ask and what to do. And you have to have faith that if you do the hard work, things will work out. You don't need to go to school. And having a degree is only important if you use it. So I recommend that if you are looking to become an entrepreneur yourself, don't waste your time going to school for a degree that you're not going to use. Go to school, be smart about it, get out of school debt-free, and get investing. That's it for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's go sell some real estate. Let's make a YouTube channel.